Yo, what's good, y'all? This is BRM, aka Brandon, and y'all tuned in to the illest lines. Check it out.
What's good, everybody? This is your B-Fam, Daniel Anthony, back with the illest lines, the first one of 2021. And we got my first guest of this year is the winner of the illest lines challenge that we just did. And, just want you to give it up for him right now. It's BRM, aka Brandon.
What's up, man?
What's good? What's good? Good.
Man,
First of all, yeah. Oh man, no doubt, man. I really appreciate this. One thing I love about this platform is even though it's still brand new, like I enjoy meeting people, you know what I mean, in this kind of way, because we get to meet on a level of love for music in general, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
yeah, so I really appreciate you being on here with me.
No, man, I appreciate it.
Yeah, most definitely. First question I want to ask you though. I know that you told me before you're from Chicago, right?
Yeah, I'm in the Chicago suburbs. Pretty much been here my whole life. Oh,
okay. Born and raised.
A lot of them born and raised.
Okay.
Not a lot, nothing crazy outside of the state or whatnot. But
right.
Moved a lot as a kid and that kind of stuff. But pretty much kind of been in the Aurora, Illinois suburb area.
Oh, got you.
Pretty much since married life,
Oh, okay.
Been married about 15 years.
Nice. Yeah, same here. Maybe 16 in February for me. Yeah.
Congrats, man. That's what's
thanks.
Up.
Right back at you.
Yeah, so man, we've been in the same kind of area, 2 kids, all that stuff. So
nice.
Been blessed and enjoy the area. I'm about ready to get out the cold though, to be honest.
I hear you. What's the temperature out there right now?
It's probably like 29.
Oh.
Yeah, it's cold, man.
And I dig that because I'm actually from California.
Oh, okay.
So California is bipolar with their with their weather. With the weather. Yeah, but the other thing too is I'd usually like to try to find out like where it kind of all started in regards to the artists and how they even made their way. So when would you say you first got caught up in music?
Yeah, man. I kind of tell the same story, to a lot of people, but I mean, I love music. Growing up, and I remember even in junior high, I remember hearing the song "Gangsta's Paradise" by Coolio. And I love talking about that because people always laugh, and I kind of laugh just thinking about it. But that was like the song that got me like, oh man, I want to write something to that beat.
Right.
I just for whatever reason the song hit me, and I just remember writing over the lyrics. You know what I mean? Just like
right.
I didn't even have like equipment or the instrumental or nothing, but I remember I was sitting in my room writing. To it, and that kind of sparked my love of kind of hip hop and music, and it just kind of kept doing it from there. With friends and that kind of stuff. High school did some stuff on like karaoke machines with buddies and that kind of stuff. But man, I didn't pick up the music again until like early adulthood. My stepdad had passed, and I'm not somebody who would like to share my feelings and that kind of stuff. And that was really one way for me to write down how I was feeling about it. I remember writing a song for him. I think it was like 25 years old, 26 years old, whatever. And I haven't really stopped since.
That's good.
About 9 years ago, I rededicated my life to God and been on the Christian hip hop stuff, since then. So
got you.
That's kind of where it started and where I'm at now, I guess.
That's cool. So if Gangsta's Paradise was like maybe like the one that really got you into it, what would you say you actually grew up on? Did you grow up on hip hop or did you grow up on other things?
Yeah, no, I definitely grew up on hip hop, but you know what? I was pretty well versed. I think throughout my life with music, I kind of enjoy everything. I definitely grew up on hip hop. I would say some of the people who I definitely was like listening to. It was like Jada Kiss, I didn't grow up Christian and none of that. That was something that came
Same
here. So Eminem, Jada Kiss, Cannabis, these kind of like these were the people who I listened to, and even in a way it shaped my sound, even kind of
got you
going along. So yeah.
Oh, okay, so that right there actually answers the next question about influences. So you would say that they would definitely play a big part as far as influences go? Yeah,
people definitely like a Jada Kiss, Eminem, I mean, that kind of stuff. And like even most recently, somebody like, I was kind of came into Christian hip hop and I didn't really surround myself with other Christian hip hop artists when I came in like 8 years ago, 7 years ago. And I was just kind of in my own bubble.
Right.
And some people who kind of broke me out of that bubble, I didn't even know how to tackle that. And I wasn't in the community. I didn't know what to do. So I kind of came in rapping soft, which, you know, when I say soft was just kind of like, I was on the, you know, just didn't really know how to approach it.
Right.
NF and like Hilgi, some dudes that were local kind of helped me kind of gain my sound and mold it into kind of the artist that I am now. Kind of in your face, but it's always Christ centered.
Awesome.
Always bringing you testimony,
right,
etc. But I'm in your face.
Yeah.
Kind of in your face style. That's why I said I made mention to that beat.
Yeah.
Not generally a beat I kind of rap over. Kind of a boom bap, old school type feel to it or whatever. But I enjoy these challenges. A lot of people who know that this stuff. I love these challenges, and I always hop on them when I can. So
right. And we definitely appreciated that too. I mean, I can't lie. I thought it was funny. I really tried to do my best, you know, and this is just be my quick moment.
Yeah.
I really tried to do my best to create that beat in such a way where it wouldn't be recognized, you know what I'm saying? So when you said old school beat, I was like, okay, did you recognize what the sample was?
I didn't. No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
What was it?
It's a Stevie Wonder sample from I'm not even gonna lie, I don't even remember what the name of the song is, but I tried to put it out of my mind so much I forgot what the actual name of the song was, but it's Stevie Wonder sample, and I just, as soon as it was like really my first stab at trying to do something like that, because you know, whenever I started producing, I was just like, okay, I just want to play this stuff. I don't really want to do too much, but then I was like, no, let me try, because I'd love to see what I can come up with, and that's what it came out. So when you said old school, I'm like, okay, he must recognize. So it was just the vibe then.
Yeah, I think it was just more of the vibe. I mean, I've been around music for a while, so usually I can hear a beat and be like, oh, that's like an East Coast. That's like an epic. That's West Coast. That's this, that. So yeah, I heard the beat. It's like, it's got like an old school feel to it. So and I think Rashawn Jones, shout out to I think you may have had him on the show.
Yeah.
I follow Rashawn. We talk socials and that kind of stuff. Kind of follow music and that kind of stuff. I saw him do it.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, another challenge out there.
Yeah.
You know, so, and he's dope. So I was, I knew he ripped it. And
most definitely.
Other guys too, man, that I see in the social network, you know. So.
Right. And the cool thing about it is that I wanted to make sure that I could, like, I didn't want to just be like, I have a lot of people who are in music that I know, but I didn't want to just like automatically tap into them. So this was actually another way to try to reach out to other people, and you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I definitely appreciated what everyone came with, you know what I mean? And I could tell when you were talking about how you kind of like in your face, you know, with it, like, okay, yeah, I could definitely tell that, like, that whole style of it was definitely there. Yeah,
man. No, appreciate it.
yeah. The one of the things that I dug about your music and listening to everything before the show is that I feel like you have like such a dramatic vibe to just the music in general. You know what I mean? And you were talking about, you know, how you've been writing ever since, you said it was since your stepfather passed, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
And that song Writing, man.
Started writing lyrics down with no curse words. Why? I don't know. Wanted to be a good Christian boy. How? I was lost. I was in between. Wasn't sure where I should be. See, I'm married now, but I want to flee.
So I'm going through everything. I'm listening. And
oh
yeah, most definitely. And I'm just like, okay, this is like storytelling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not to say that your other stuff that I've heard wasn't storytelling at all, but
that one is.
It's most definitely. It was just like pressing play on a video, you know what I mean? Where you're just gonna watch a movie, and everything from the sound of the marker, it was reminiscent of Stan.
Yeah,
from Eminem.
Of course, I drew from that.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
and it's cool because I love how we can get these ideas from other people, and it's like, okay, and some people may look at it as like, okay, well, now you're just, you know, taking other things. No, it's influence.
And I say whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, same here. Because a lot of times people don't get that everybody is influenced by different things.
Yeah.
And something in somebody's song, whether it be the songwriting itself, the melody, whatever, because it pulls things out of you.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I love about music. It pulls things out of you. And I felt like that's what it was doing with you. That whole entire vibe of the song, the story in itself, you know what I mean? Just having to do, I'm not going to lie, I haven't really heard many songs that have to do with just writing and how you felt. And it seemed like it was more or less a little bit of your testimony, no?
Oh yeah, definitely literally from everything we've almost even talked about from starting in junior high, kind of going through some things, even going through things in just my life and my stepdad, you know, my mom listening through the door, you know, I was cursing. I remember cursing, you know, back in the day, you know, and she kind of gave me my space to kind of let me do my thing, which right or wrong, I guess, but you know, that's the way it went.
Right.
You know, then kind of going through life and struggling even in my marriage, and then, you know, God saving that. And I put it all into 3 verses. Anybody who knows me, I don't usually do 3 verses.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
It's usually a 2 verse. I hit you with the hook. I hit you with my 2 verses and I'm out. But with that one, I really took some time on, and definitely wanted to add the 3 verses to try to give you my full testimony.
Right.
So man, I appreciate you checking that out and noticing that one, because I want to do a video with that as well. So.
Oh man, that would be dope. And that was just released this past year, right? 2020.
Yeah, so I reached Chosen, the name of the album, this past year. Actually, I dropped 3.
I noticed. You've been busy.
Yeah, man. You know, and I always laugh because I do get time. Being a teacher, you know, I'm home at a certain time, and I'm able to still spend time with the kids and fam, and you know, I get breaks off and I get summer off, and
that's right.
I've been blessed with this time to create and have fun and have a chance to express myself and all that kind of stuff. So.
And not only that, but you know what, I think a lot of times people forget that you make time for what you love.
Yes, absolutely.
And it goes across the board. You know what I'm saying? What's that scripture? Where your treasure is, your heart will be lost. Be also.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So if you're paying attention to just one thing, then you're not going to have time for nothing else.
No, it's true.
I mean, but a lot of people are afraid to do what people call spreading themselves thin. You know, I'll be honest with you. You know, if you got a marriage to take care of, that means you got a house to take care of. You got kids, and now you really got other things to take care of. So you know what? Yeah, you may feel like you don't have a bunch of time or whatever, but if you make time for it, and I think that's one of the things that people miss out on. They miss out on their dreams because they're not making time for it. You know what I mean? Or maybe because the relationship that they're in is causing them to not be able to do that because it's being frowned upon or whatever. You know what I mean?
You're right with all those. Yeah. And balance is important. I mean, people have asked, you know, a bunch of times, how do you do that? I try. You know, right. I mean,
exactly.
You know, if anybody is married or they got a wife or, you know, kids and that kind of stuff, like that's obviously your first importance. Is to make sure you take care of that stuff and make sure you communicate.
Right.
My wife will tell me if I'm not, you know, if I'm maybe not taking as much time or you know, that kind of stuff. So that stuff's important. And I do like to always tell artists that too. I mean, I'm a CEO of a brand. I'm part of a label called Rapture Ready Productions.
Right.
I run the RP North Side, and so I got artists on my team as well. And you know, that's something I get a chance to talk to them about is finding your balance, whatever the heck that is. It might not look like mine. It might not look like his. It might not look like hers. But try to find your balance, because this doesn't matter compared to the rest of the stuff.
Most definitely.
Per se.
Definitely. And that's cool. That was actually to be one of my other questions in regards to the label itself. You know, when it was created, do you feel like it was something that you were creating or was created strictly for you to be able to just have a platform, or was it set in your mind that I want to be able to get with other artists to be able to, you know, help them out as well?
Yeah, that's a good question. So the label I'm part of was something that nothing I started.
Oh, okay.
That's something that's out of Louisiana.
Gotcha.
CEO Jeremy Duncan, Jay Dunn is the one who runs that. Shout out. Yeah, shout out to him and the team. And everybody who's part of it. They got a big squad already. So I joined them.
Oh, okay.
Once I was part of them for a year, after I came on, he approached me and said, hey, I think you need to run your own thing over there in Chicago. So it wasn't something I had started or was even looking to do.
Oh, okay.
It was something he approached me about.
Right.
I took it as a chance to, be able to meet other artists and bring them on and share with them some things I maybe learned, you know. Not that I've been doing the Christian hip hop thing for a long time, or like per se been in the music business or that type of thing. but I have learned some tricks
Right.
and some ways to do things over the years. I'm kind of a one-stop shop. I can do
Right.
art, videos,
Nice.
mixing, mastering. I do everything.
Okay.
So you know, and it's stuff that I'm still learning, but
Yeah.
I've been able to help people with those things. You know, shout out to the team. You know, Kingsley,
Yeah,
J,
most definitely.
TC Boyd, Brody Da Vinci. Like these dudes, they help me with stuff. I help them with things, and that's what teams are supposed to do. So,
right. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. The other thing is, I like what you kind of said about the labels because it gives me a quick chance to just kind of talk about like the way we run the label is like we don't own your masters. We don't, you know, there's all that talk about people owning masters, and we don't do that. We're actually literally there just to help build you up.
Right.
And if one of us ends up feeling like we want to go off and do something on our own, we give you a hand and say we did our job then because we gave you the confidence and whatever to go build something you feel like God has put on your heart. So
most definitely, and the tools,
and the tools,
yeah.
Well, the tools is huge. Yeah. I mean, the tools is huge. So I mean, that's how we run it.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that I'm part of something like that.
Yeah.
With the team and what I'm doing as a branch off from it. So
right. Yeah, most definitely. That self-empowerment is definitely a big thing, especially when it comes to being creative.
Yeah.
You know, people lose so much will to be creative because it's like, what's the goal?
For what?
You know, if the goal was at first to create something so that you could be out there, it's like, okay, I get it. But then what happens after that, after you're out there, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden it becomes a job. I tell my kids this all the time, that when it comes to doing stuff, once it starts to feel like a job, you're not going to want to do it.
You're not going to want to do it.
As something that's a task is like, okay, you know what? No, nope. I can't do it no more. You know what I mean? Because then you get, like you said, you get burnt out. You get to the point where it's like, okay, well, if I'm doing it just so that these people can really make money off of me, and I'm not really getting anything in return, I owe. You know what I mean? Like, where are you guys going to be at? Because they're not going to be anywhere. You know what I mean? Unless you got a team with you, just like how we were talking about.
Yeah.
If you got a team with you that, you know, okay, if I'm falling behind on something, I know they've got my back in some way, shape, or form. It may not be monetarily, but it may be in prayer. It may be in edification. It may be in something, you know what I mean? And that camaraderie right there is what definitely makes a big difference when it comes to all that.
I agree. 120, 29%.
Wait, not 130. No,
130. Though.
Yeah. All right, cool. Even number.
even. No, I love it, man. Yeah, I agree totally.
Definitely.
I mean, nothing to add to that at all. I agree.
Yeah, most definitely. Now, the one thing I got to say, you know, going back to the songwriting, you know, basically what I've been doing is I've been picking out certain parts of songs that stand out, not just the song itself that stands out, but certain parts that stand out. And, you know, it begins to be different. Sometimes it's something in the first verse or second verse, and sometimes it's a hook. And this time it was the hook, man.
I was just a silent kid, never much to say, rather just be quiet. Locked up in the room, day and night like that. Sometimes I'm feeling like I'm back there, right? And remembering the most
like, I'm not gonna lie, like that kind of even just that in itself. I mean, if I just heard these words, I would never think to myself, this is part of a Christian hip hop song, because it's so vast and broad. Yeah, you know, it is. Yeah. And it's one of those things that really kind of took me back as I'm listening. I was listening to that over and over, but I must have been at least 5 times before I was like, yeah, this is definitely it, because it spoke volumes and bringing back, you know, like I should say, helping me reminisce on my early days. You know what I mean? Kind of like, remember that song, back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. It's like just that in itself. It's like, it brings back everything. You know what I mean? So even though we kind of talked about it earlier, that it being your, you know, a testimony type of song, were you trying, do you feel like you were actually trying to come up with something that you would say, yeah, these are some of the illest lines I've ever wrote? Or were you just letting God use you? Were you letting it flow?
Yeah, I wanted to share my testimony, and I believe I accomplished that in it.
Yeah.
Obviously, still wanted to point people to God, but just wanted to tell people my story of writing. Literally, like, I mean, I literally named it that and put the hook in basically like that, to just say, hey, you know what? I remember being in that room just writing and being that little kid, and even being an adult now in my late 30s. I still feel like that little kid, you know, sometimes just writing, and being quiet. And, you know, like I most of my life was spent giving no opinion or having no thought on anything. Until I, you know, I basically started, you know, rededicating my life to God and sharing testimony and sharing what God has done in my life. So, I mean, that was just something like I'm able to go back to being that kid, but I'm able to write those lines and share it with people. And so I am speaking, even though I'm kind of back in that room, you know, being quiet, just writing, you know, type of thing. But yeah, it was just one of those things that I knew the testimony was still going to speak and point people to Christ. But at the same time, just literally from being a 12-year-old kid to where I am now and expanding that within those 3 verses, you know. So, and yeah, I'm glad you liked it, man. I just
most definitely.
All people was digging it, man.
Yeah, and honestly, you know, again, after listening to it over and over again, very appropriate, I felt, for this show. You know what I mean? Because it's like, okay,
with the lines,
with the lines, exactly. You know, one of the things I did notice about it too was that it seemed to go from one level to the next, almost as if your confidence was building up from beginning to end. Because I heard a little difference in the last verse that you gave. It was a little bit of a difference where I could sense a little more emotion, like, you know, kind of like going between, you know, how you become emotional when you think of something, as well as the happiness of it.
Yeah.
Like, I think that people don't understand unless they finally found what they call their happy place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like for us, you know, it's writing something, you know. And I even remember part of the reason why I related to this too was because I remember when I got saved and I started feeling like, okay, I'm gonna start using some of my old songs and just take out the curse words and do this and do that. I'm like,
maybe not.
No, maybe not. Let me go ahead and just if I'm gonna start all over, then I gotta start all over. You know
that's
what I mean?
real.
And that was the best thing about it, knowing that you can.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No,
it was almost as easy as like when you start writing something, if it's not conveying the type of message that you're actually feeling, you crumble it up and you toss it away.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're done with that moment because it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing. Same thing when it comes to giving your life to Christ. You finally got to a moment where, you know what? Okay, wait a minute. You're telling me I could throw this stuff away? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You mean, okay, so God, what you're going to do is you're going to take all this stuff that I was writing down on a piece of paper and you're going to crumble it up for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and that's that same feeling that you want everyone to have, you know what I mean? And it's almost like you stand back and it's like, okay, but why isn't everybody feeling that way? And it's just because they haven't gotten there yet.
Right.
And it's going to take some people, whether it be people like yourself or other people to speak our testimony. That's why the testimony is so important. And people don't get, like, it took me a long time. I would say probably a good, maybe almost 8 years from the time that I got saved to understand just how important the testimony really is. But the experience and the testimony itself is not for you.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because it's not for you to you have to share. And you got to let people see that there are other people going through the same stuff. You know what I'm saying? And that right there, that importance right there is such a major thing. And I'm constantly praying. I need to start praying about it every day.
Yeah.
But I got to constantly pray that people will eventually get it, and the right ones will.
Yeah.
Whether it be 1,000 or one.
Right. Whichever one's God puts there is the one that's gonna hit. But it's funny you picked up on that too, because it was intentional.
Yeah.
It was intentional in that third verse. That third verse was me.
Yeah.
That's me now, and that's what I wanted to portray, was a little bit more of that confidence that you're gonna hear my testimony.
Yeah.
You're gonna hear. You're gonna hear what I write, and it's gonna be in your face, and you're gonna hear it, and it's gonna point you to Christ. And I'm unashamed about it. You know, so it's cool you picked up on that.
As we should be.
Yeah, as we should be. And the testimony, like you said, it's gonna be shared, and it has to be shared.
Yeah.
So man, I totally agree, and you know, I pray with you and stand with you on that one.
Yeah,
most definitely. We all need to. We all need to do that.
And in love. I think that's the other thing that's missing from some people in regards to their testimony, doing it in love.
Yeah.
If we don't do things in love, then how can we expect God to handle us in love?
Ain't gonna happen. Yeah.
Just because he has amounts of grace doesn't mean that, you know, he's not going to be like, okay, I got to take my hands off for a minute because you're not getting it.
You're not getting it.
You know,
yep.
Man, it's kind of like, you know, being a parent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's that tough love that we have to give our kids. Okay. All right. I already told you that this was a dark alley. Why would you want to go down that dark alley?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I told you what was going to happen and you did it anyway.
Yeah. It's like, okay. All right. You know,
learn your lesson.
Yeah, most definitely. So the last question I want to ask, what was the illest line that you ever heard that you feel made an impact on you?
You know, I'm glad you asked me that one because I thought of one that I listened to in a song, and it goes like this: I heard the pictures don't change, only the people inside of them do. And for me, I thought it was just that's from NF. It's a super dope line. And I like it because for me, I remember when I look back at pictures of a time where I wasn't in a right place. And I was going through some terrible times, you know, and I look back at those pictures and I have trouble looking at those pictures. And for me, it's like, that's such a crazy line because if you think, you know, pictures don't change, only the people inside of them do. So, you know, a lot of things go along with that. You see these smiles on people's faces. A lot of times they might be smiling for the picture or inside, but they're not smiling on the inside.
Right.
You know, they're putting a mask on for whatever it is that they're doing. And that hits me a little bit.
Yeah.
Kind of makes me sick. It kind of makes me sick to my stomach, you know, to see that even in some old pictures or whatnot. So it's just a kind of a crazy line. And to think that even to see those pictures, even though they got that smile and it might have been in a bad spot, to know that there was change in that same person who might have been putting that mask on, and now they've been able to take off the mask and their change, and redemption, and all that. So just kind of a crazy line, you know, and really it's a simple line, but a cool line. And the things that I kind of took from it, it stuck out to me.
Yeah. And even if we're still able to say, okay, well, there's still parts of that in me now. Yeah. But I recognize it. I know what to do about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just going to sit on my hands. I'm going to go ahead and put these hands together and pray that God takes that out of me at some point. Back. Yeah. Ain't going back. No. Right. No. Sounds like a title of a new project.
Ain't going back. I like that. Nah, that's dope, man. And, you know, it's just, and, you know, there's one line I just wanted to share real quick. Yeah. It kind of gets me every time. It's one of my songs, Venting. And so I almost left my wife and my family. He didn't let me. I got a story, you wouldn't believe it. And it's just every time I listen to the line of it, you know, it chokes me up a little bit. Yeah. And, it's, you know, kind of comes in with the drums as the drums is getting epic towards the end of the song. And it's just one of those things that, you know, music can touch people. It might not touch everybody, but it might even be a therapy for yourself.
Right. Well, man, I definitely appreciate the time that you've given this platform, man. And last thing, I want to make sure that people who are watching this know where to reach you at. So social media, everything else in regards to where they can find your music too.
Yeah, all socials at BRM RRP. That's across all socials. Make it nice and easy. Right. And if anybody wants to see any videos or anything like that, YouTube's full of them. You can also check my show out. I have a show as well where we review videos, music videos, Christian hip hop videos. And it's called For the Goat, formerly known as BRM Live.
Oh, okay.
You can check that out on BRM, aka Brandon, on YouTube. Yeah. And yeah, check out the socials and you'll run into all kinds of other things from me.
Awesome.
If you want to check it out.
Yes, sir. Well, it was good talking to you. If you really honestly, if you ever need anything from me, I mean, your stuff is pretty dope, and I wouldn't even mind collabing on something with you if you feel it, Hey, so
let me know
as the Lord leads, bro.
Yeah, as the Lord leads. No, appreciate you, man.
Most definitely.
Thanks for having me on.
Yes, sir. All right, bro. Talk to you soon.